Do you want to say anything before we start, or have to say anything about yourself and or why are you transitioning to plus three? By the way,
So yeah, in the past I was always playing position 4 and 5, and I peaked at 6.2k MMR. I think it was in September last year. And yeah, in general, it just got boring for me to play supports all the time, and that's why I want to play position 3. And right now, I'm mainly trying to practice Mars. And all of my replays that I've sent you, Mars games, and first two replays are the losses, and they were solo queue ranked games, and the last one is just 5 men with my friends, and it's a win. And in general, when I'm feeling a position 3, I feel like sometimes I'm playing, like a pussy, and playing too safe. And when I try to go, more aggressively, then I find myself many times just feeding. And in general, because of transitioning from support, I feel kind of uh, lost. I don't know what I have to do in the map many times.
I see. It's kind of really hard though because in 5K and 6K the roles are still not that defined. And I feel a lot of games when I play offlane in that bracket. If I would make the correct play, I would make in a high MMR game. It will be bad in the low MMR game because even if you make space on offlane, they are not gonna use it. So usually on offlane, it's okay sometimes to die if you draw a lot of aggro and your team will use it. But in that bracket, well, they don't do anything. So if you die and don't solo carry the game, you are having a rough time. But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna look at the game and comment what I see about mechanics and lane, and gonna ask you some questions. How you think about the game? What do you wanna do? Item builds and stuff. I guess we just go into the game and see. So we're at like 10:36 right now, and I would say let's make like 1 hour from now.
Mhm.
Okay, so you said your mass. I'm in the first game. Is it okay to go for the first, or do we have a
Yeah.
particular order?
Yeah, we can go from the first game. So yeah, I was playing with Darkwill against Tiny and Kotal, but my starting build is always the same. And
I
yeah, the build is in general the same for Mars. And what do you think? Do you think it should differ from game to game on Mars? Because I think you always have to go to Blink, BKB, and then maybe Refresher, and maybe some
um
utility for like Lotus or Albert.
I'm not exactly sure about starting items, but I think starting items don't make a lot of difference. Just let me check what does Pro Tracker say. Pro Tracker say soaring into face into dagger. About dagger refresher and stuff, I wouldn't say you need to go the same items every game because there's games where you can go like Desolator, where you can play without dagger and BKB Deso or BKB Satanic or something. I think Amma the fucker is playing a lot of Mars and is pretty good at it. I think I've seen him not only go for the initiation build, but a lot of times just going BKB and going semi carry. And I think in those low games, a lot of times in some games you might feel like, well, it's not going to be enough, and or you have a really good game and you feel like carrying it. You can always start on armlet, go into BKB, and try to carry from there. What do you think about what I said?
Uh, yeah, I would agree, but with Armlet, I tried several times, and usually, for some reason, I'm losing every time I build Armlets.
I think the difficulty on Armlet is when you buy dagger, your game plan is pretty straightforward. Like you randomly run on any people you see, and that are killable or out of position, and you kill them. But with Armlet, you change the way your hero works because the moment you get Armlet, you're like an impenetrable fortress. Like it's really hard to kill you and punish you. And if you buy Armlet and you're not like sitting, you're watching the stream by the way. right? So you see what I'm pointing at on the map. So when you have armlet, a lot of times you wanna play really deep because you're tanky and you do a lot of damage and they cannot kill you. So when you buy armlet, BKB and something like that, you play really deep and pressure towers, and you kind of force the enemies to go on you instead of looking where can you initiate a team fight or do something and run at them. So when you build armlet, your playstyle changes like 100%.
Understood.
Maybe you're not adapting enough when you do that. Anyway, let's see. So it looks like you're playing against Tiny plus Kotl or Tiny plus Rubik, but I guess it's Kotl.
It was Kotal.
I guess your starting items are fine. It's not like you need a magic stick or something. What you can do right now already, since you play against Kotl, and if it's a good Kotl, he will a lot of times try to wave you from fog or stay in trees. Now you could, since you don't have anything to do right now, you could already cut down some trees here so you get better visibility of Keeper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I died because of that, I think, several times. Lane.
I'm just gonna look back where you were for the rune. So you guys went for the rune, it didn't work out, but right now, okay, you had a potential of doing something there, but yeah, so it's fine. You're kind of missing the creep block. I mean, creep block could maybe have helped, but yeah, I mean, you guys were busy hitting the void spirit, so it just didn't happen. Okay. Now laning is starting. I would still have blocked the creeps a bit here because like inside the tower they get like the region, they get the bonus. Unless you somehow plan to like let your wave push into towers so the wave pushes into yours, and I think that's a pretty bad idea because I think Quattle is a bit stronger than Willow, so even if you plan to do that, I think on average the Quattle will have an easier time getting pulls and stuff off than Willow contesting it. So I think it's always worth it for you to block a bit. So first of all, they have less chance of having tower buff, and second of all, you are closer to your tower and further away from there, so you have more rooms to make plays and stuff. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Alright, you're already pulling the creeps a bit, that's nice. I think I would have pulled them a bit more and a bit faster, but I agree with that. Lane is now already pushing. No idea what your Willow is doing, but yeah, that's all you can really do there. Yeah, you're losing a lot of life. You're getting more region on Courier, that's nice. Yeah, you need to be super careful in this game because of Quattle. You always need to be conscious where is he standing. Securing range creep on Nuke, that's really nice. Your lane is pushing, you're really fine. Like, only thing right now that you don't know where Quattle is and it might be dangerous, so yeah, you even dodged it, that's nice. So until now everything is good, I would say. I don't see anything in particular. Yeah, unlucky you didn't get to creep there, but it happens. Your last hits. For example, this creep right now, Tiny had the potential to deny it and Tiny has more damage. Before you attacked it or the moment it was slow, you could right click the Tiny or something and pull the creep away from him. So even if he tries to deny it, he will not get in range to hit it and you will get a free last hit there. So I think I already seen like 3 times where you could have used creep aggro to secure a last hit. I'm not sure. I don't think you can right now hit Tiny or pressure them a lot because they have a super strong lane. So I think right now everything is kind of fine. I'm not sure if it was fine using the spell there on him because you lose the spell to secure a last hit and hitting him, and your mana pool is getting quite low, and you didn't push him into another Bramble, so that one spell there I wouldn't have used like that. I really like that you are hitting him right now. When he went for the last hit, you kinda got some free hits in there. A lot of people I don't see doing that. Right. Yeah, so I mean, not a lot happening on this lane really. It's not like you can force Tiny out unless you guys do like some Premple, some spare on 4 Premples combo or some shit. I mean, you probably know that that creep should have died there. You're taking a lot of damage for that. Yeah, you see the problem now, because you used the spell before, you don't have mana now. Imagine he got like a really good Bramble and you had an angle to like push him into 4 maces, 4 Brambles. The damage stacks, by the way, so if you can hit a spare into 3 or 4 Brambles, it's how much damage is it nowadays? 50, 100. So it's 100 pairs, so you can potentially deal 400 damage. That's the only way I see you guys killing them or harassing them. Yeah, we're pulling the creep here. Like I said before, you're at least doing it. I mean, your laning looks pretty solid. Um. So what about that, Des? Could you? I mean, you kinda. Yeah, you're already low, but is there any way for you to manage that right now? I mean, if you die, you come back with full life. It's not like you can just walk out there. Your Willow could have given you a tango, maybe also bought south, but I mean, well, what could you have done right now? I, I
Uh,
I don't think you want to walk to base. Buying more region, I mean, maybe also against that lane. What could be really good is raindrops
they can
at
raindrops, yeah.
at minute 3, because yeah, he's using a lot of nukes. And I mean, how many times are raindrops? I think 6 charges times 100 HP. So it's like nearly the efficiency of healing self, and you also get some mana regen. Or maybe you could consider at 3 minutes instantly buying raindrops instead of finishing the soaring. I mean, you buy, or like, I don't know. I don't play that much Mars, but maybe double bracer for more sustain on the lane is also an option. But I kind of doubt it. The problem is you're kind of saving for the soaring now. But the moment you get a soaring, every time you soaring, you also lose HP, and I'm not sure if you can do that right now on the lane. But yeah, I'm not really exactly sure. I mean, it's a rough lane. But I guess double bracer could be an option, but in the end, I guess I would say your Willow should have had a healing salve for you. Maybe you could have brought the item sooner and not try to like instantly finish it, because even if you get the soul ring right now, are you gonna activate it?
Probably not, because I will die.
Yeah.
But
So I guess maybe instead of finishing it when your Willow didn't bring you salve, you could have either gotten the small pots to be stronger, or bought the salve yourself. But I mean, dying here, it's not the biggest deal, right? They get like 250 gold. They get a bit of XP, but you kinda get your full mana refilled and your full life, and 250 gold is like, or you already needed like 2 healing salves and more stuff to get your life full. I mean, the XP kind of doubles the penalty in some way, but I think dying there is not the biggest deal, really. So until now, I don't really see a lot I can tell you. You're playing the lane pretty fine, really. Alright, so you're pressuring him now. I mean, he doesn't have any region on Tiny. I guess Kotl has a healing salve. So pressuring him for sure is good, especially since you have full resources. I think you have a lot of mana. Maybe I would have tried to spare him as well there. Ah, that's unfortunate that the spare didn't clutch.
Limited imagination you have.
Alright, so right now, your support is away, nothing is really happening. I guess one issue on this lane, but that's not your job. I think they had a pull all the time. So what do you want to do right now? I guess you kinda try to keep the lane a bit there. On the other side, what would have happened on so about alternative builds on Mars? So what would have happened if instead of finishing the Soul Ring or finishing the Bracer, you bought Helm first item?
Yeah, I would have had more sustain, more HP regen, but probably less mana.
Yeah, I'm just wondering right now. Usually the Tinies they go for max 3 throw, so he kinda only has physical damage. I mean, it's support Kotter, so he has some damage, but not that much. I mean, I'm just wondering if this was a game where you're gonna build Armlet. I mean, a big issue. So if you have dagger, what is your dagger gonna do? You're probably unless Void Spirit is really bad, you're not really catching him because he can dodge it. I mean, jumping on Kotl, Ravik, that's decent target. Sand King can get out of arena. Tiny usually doesn't care that much. I mean, I could see in this game, like, from your starting items on rushing the helm, and then you can, like, stay on the lane for a long time and you're forcing Tiny to jungle. And then instead of going dagger build, just going armlet BKB because you can always hit the arena on Tiny. Because he kinda has to walk into you guys and yeah, I'm just wondering what's more value, you having the ability with Dagger to jump on their supports because the other people are not really good targets anyway. Um, I guess you have a Willow for the fear combo, so arenas can have value, but but I guess it wouldn't be too bad playing without Dagger really. So how's your game going? If you look at your heroes, they have a Tiny. So this Tiny is kind of flash farming jungle. You guys have a Slark. Slark is having a rough time flash farming. So the way you can so your team kind of you guys have more pressure finding kills on them and stopping them from farm than the other way because you have Storm and Slark. There's two ways to see it now. You can see the game like, oh, I'm gonna go dagger, I'm gonna blink into them, I'm gonna kill Tiny. All right, they have a lot of defensive heroes and like magic damage. So if you jump on them, they have a lot of counter initiate. So if I would see this game right now, and I'm thinking about, like I said, I don't have to. I'm not playing Mars too much, and when I play it, I usually play it on mid. So what I would think right now, if you go dagger and you blink into them and you actually don't kill them and die, the game is kinda instantly over because I I'm thinking right now everyone is good in this game. So if you buy dagger and you get like one or two bad blinks, I think the game is over for you. And even if you kill them one, two times, they can come back by farming and come backing by getting some good Sand King stuff. But if you went right now armlet into BKB and you don't care about running into them because you see, well, Slug is not farming that much. I mean, Storm is farming, but in general, they are farming more than you. So if you had armlet BKB, you can kinda play really deep because how can they kill you when you have BKB? The only ways really to kill you is Void Spirit spells, Kotor spells, Sand King spells. So BKB fixes all those problems. Armlet gives you a lot of damage. So if you have Armlet BKB, you can farm a lot more, farm a lot faster, and constantly push the lanes. So I think by going a build like this, you have the option of like pushing them a lot into triangle, and your jungle was tiny and taking towers pretty much for free, or at least forcing like always 1-2 supports or void spirit plus a support defending buildings. Also mid towers really easy to take. So I think Helm would have been a valuable consideration because you can stay decently on lane because Tiny has a lot of physical damage and I don't have too much magic, and B because this is a game where playing greedy looks to me like it's having a higher chance to win than playing risky with dagger and stuff. But like I said, I might have a bad judgment there because I don't have 1 million mass games on offlane. But Yeah, what do you think about what I said?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense since in this game I think I didn't pressure them at all. I think, and both of my lanes, there's like top and mid, was lost, and I was also just sitting with them on our side of the map all the time. But yeah, as you said, if I had Armlet and BKB, maybe at least top. I mean, the bot would have been better, and I would have given some space for my cores to farm.
Yeah, my point is kind of like I said, I think you can always get at least a decent arena because, I mean, Tiny is a very static hero. He doesn't have a lot of movement, escapes, or whatever. So he kind of has to run at people and hit them. And because he has to do that, you always get a free arena on at least Tiny. I mean, like I said, I think arenas usually are prioritized on their supports. But I mean, you get the other trade-off for it. If you don't go dagger, you deal more damage and you're stronger.
I
Anyway,
also saw one of the Chinese teams they were playing Mars, and I saw that he always goes Ring of Health.
what is he building it into?
Nothing. Later on, maybe Lotus or just refresh, but it's on the late game when everything is already decided.
Yeah, I mean, refresher. I mean, I've seen a lot of people buy it, but alright, let me check. I mean, let's compare. Ring of Health gives you 6.5 region. Helm of Ironville gives you a bit less region, but 6 armor. So I think if you just keep it in inventory and don't build into anything, I would for sure say casual Helm is not bad. But
Mm.
I think you only want Helm if you build it into Armlet. I mean, Armlet kinda got nerfed a bit, but I still think it's decent. What about Ring? I mean, Ring has literally the same purpose. It's a bit worse on stats, but well, what can you build it into? You can build Hood. I don't think Mars usually wants Hood.
Yeah.
You can build it into Vanguard. I mean, I don't think you usually want to build Vanguard. You can build it into, yeah, well, Refresher, Lotus. Yeah, I think in your games and especially on 5K, 6K, I think it's a bit too early to think about your team too much in general. You should think about how can you amass a lot of net worth on your hero and from their point on not throw the game and have a lot of impact. So in a lot of games, unless they really, really have shitty heroes where you kind of wanna buy Lotus and use it on yourself, or you have some stuff you can really remove. I don't think in most times Lotus makes too much sense. I mean, Refresher is kind of always nice, but it's like a real late item, and I mean they nerfed Refresher this patch as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does Mars even have the mana pool?
Yeah, usually it's enough if you want to use it instantly.
Yeah, I guess I can see building it into Refresher. Yeah, and, but alright, so if I think about it, still, imagine if you build casual Ring of Health this game, you still have pretty. I mean, you have decent armor, but Tiny's still gonna hit you a lot. So anyway, I think your build is fine. But you could have decided it's an armlet game. I would keep it like that. I can't really judge the Chinese guy that's playing it. I would have to watch his replays and figure out was it actually worth it or was it good. But I mean, they nerfed the casual Ring of Helm of Ironville by making it a bit more expensive. So in some games, it might be worth sacrificing a bit of early strength into. Well, I get easier access to building Refresher. But well, I don't think those make too much of a difference, really.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright. What about your skill build? What do you think about Bulwark 1 level?
Uh, Usually I take Bulwark when they have a lot of right clicks, but I thought that maybe Tiny wants to mainly hit creeps and not me, and Kotal is just nuking.
Yeah. But I guess it could be helpful against Tiny. So how are people skilling it usually? So on offlane, mostly they don't take it. But I think people underrate the spell a lot. I think in some games it's just super good because it's literally 50% less damage from right clicks, and you also get the option of tanking the tower or like saving someone from a range hero. But yeah, in this game, like you said, not a lot of people hitting you, and I guess the tiny right clicks are not that scary to you. So I agree on that, I guess. So I guess the interesting part, like there's not too much to say about the lane really. I guess the interesting part in this game will be what happens when you hit level 6. And where do you want to be and what do you want to do? Um yeah. Right right now anyway, like the moment they hit you that low, right, like right now, I guess that lane is pretty choosy, but honestly I saw you dead there. Because you don't have good vision on Kotl and he could have used it at any second, at any point. Didn't think I would have gone for that wave, or I would have tried to like use a spell from range or something. I mean, your Willow is there; she can soak the XP as well. Um, yeah. So what do you build from there? You upgraded the stick. You kinda go for face boots. So what do they do in on average in high MMR games? They. By the way, I'm seeing a lot of double bracer as well. Right now, I'm just scrolling through the pro tracker, and I see like in over half of the games they are going double praise on Mars. So I kind of think double praise on Mars might be kind of the meta right now. Actually, a lot of people are not even buying the Soul Ring.
Yeah, but this hero has like big issues with mana.
Yeah. I mean, I think Soul Ring is still good enough to buy it. They nerfed it because it was too good. Oh, that's a nice bear. Alright, so you have Arena now. Your lane is kinda shit. You are not really having a good game. Tiny is kinda. Oh, you're actually out farming him. I don't think if I was this tiny, I think if I was this tiny, I would have I don't. Wait. He had kinda a free lane, right? I don't have the wrong perception. So he's just a bad player. I I honestly don't see how he's only having 25 creeps here. I mean, in a free lane and in a game like this, I think you have like 6 to 7 last hits per minute. That means he should have right now over 60. Yeah, he has actually 25 last hits. Okay. Alright, so what do you think right now? What's your purpose? Do you want to utilize that arena? Do you wanna stay on your lane? What could you do on the map?
Yeah, maybe I should have waited with my TP and if they dive top, used my arena there or just walk to mid or top and then TPs.
I mean, I think you had to TP bot because there was XP and stuff. I don't know how much cooldown you have left on the TP. Is there any way to see it? No.
No, I think around 30 seconds, maybe more.
I mean, sure you should have a TP. I don't know if you didn't have the gold when you TP'd, but yeah, you should probably use the courier right now. I would look right now. There's mid tower. The thing is, those guys are really good at defending, right? Because they have Kotl and all. So I I think you can pressure this tower, but you're not taking it. Mid tower is on half HP. I would obviously I would use my camera, look at mid, see tower's kinda low. I would keep it in my mind because if your Storm is on mid lane and has resources right now, he doesn't, but in the future he might be. I would really eye at this tower and trying to force it this arena. So how's your Slark doing? Let's open scoreboard. I don't see net worth was in your game, so your Slark is kinda same level as you. He has a bit more, so he kinda has a good lane. He has kinda even lane with Sand King. I'm not sure why two supports are bot or if there's any point, but unless your Slark TP is bot lane, I don't think you're going top. Because if you guys group too much, you're not really taking resources effectively from the map. And I think it's still the point in the game where soaking up a lot of XP on your heroes and getting your level 6s, especially on Willow and Dazzle is pretty important, especially Willow. You're close to minute 10, so what you could consider is like telling Willow, get a 10-minute tome and then move or smoke with me because you guys can most certainly get a kill with your combo when you're level 6, even tiny. I mean, how much damage is Willow? Bedlam alone is like 280 times 5, 1400. Like Bedlam solo kinda nearly kills Tiny. I mean, Tiny cannot get out of Arena, so Arena with Terrorize is always a kill. So you always have the option of, if they are defending bot, of killing them. If they are jungling, also you have the option of smoking S2 into them. I mean, I don't know if he's someone you can talk to, but I guess you can always try if you see those opportunities. So yeah, right now I think you're not strong enough to kind of make a random rotation on people. So I think you're still like staying on lane, soaking XP. I don't know, using some spells. I think you're overdoing it here. Well, what reason do you have to like stay in the creep wave? I think you just use like every time he goes for a last hit. Or if you last hit the creep, I think you try to use Soul Ring and Spare to either ruin the last hit for him or secure the last hits. And so you're walking into the wave right now. Instead of... Yeah, okay. I guess you would also have gotten punished if you just tried to aggro the wave. So you can't do much there, but I guess you can't just walk into the wave against them. Because the problem right now is again you're level 6 now and you have a potential of doing a lot of stuff, since if you had resources you have arena, you have all spells, all skills. So losing your HP and mana right now is in my opinion really bad because you don't have any play left now because you don't have resources. So I think it wasn't worth it to try to walk into the creep wave because I guess you can expect. I mean, you also had a ward here. You know when Kotl is farming the camp or ready to nuke you, and if they are both ready to nuke you and they just nuke you for free, they don't lose anything, but you lose a lot. Well, I think you should have played a bit more safe there and maybe only use like 2 spares to kinda clear the wave or whatever. Yeah. I mean, you're level 6. You're level 6. It would feel really bad again to walk into base. It also would feel bad right now to rotate into mid. And now, yeah, and now you have to walk to base because you lost the resources there. So right now you're losing a lot of resources on the map in terms of farm and in terms of map pressure because you got hit. Yeah, you kind of were in the creep wave there. Could say it's a hard unlucky lane, but you could also say you could have probably seen that happening. Alright. Oh. Your Willow TP bot is leeching speed. I'm not sure what happened to Tom, so you're going top. I think we were all the time on player perspective on your hero. I have one thing that I don't like. I haven't seen you a lot like move your camera around the rack. I have not seen you click heroes. Were you right now conscious that Sand King has a Vanguard?
For sure not.
Because even if you TP there right now, I mean, where's your slug? Okay, your slug is here. I guess you guys are trying to kill. But is it a good idea to try to kill a 1300 HP Sand King that can maybe... I mean, he used Burrow Strike right now on the creep wave. I don't think you do that. But okay. I mean, I can see you guys having enough stuff to kill him, but I can also see him just Burrow Striking out of the arena. If he had it ready, you didn't know he's not gonna have it. But I mean, a Vanguard 1300 HP Sand King, and one of the bigger problems I see right now, what I'm not sure of right now, you and Slag are on the same part of the map. What are you gonna do after you kill him? I mean, you guys are not really interested in this tower because it doesn't really have a lot of value, this tower. Mid tower and safe lane tower have a lot of value. I mean, defending this tower has some value, but I don't think Slark has a problem standing against Sand King right now, and at least not letting him, steer the wave, farm it, and tower slowly dies. So it's not like you're really securing the tower right now. I mean, let's see what happens there first.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't have burrow. Alright. Mouse mechanics. I'm not a mouse specialist, but I usually don't miss my arena spears. Alright, you have a dust. Let's go player perspective and see it in slow. I mean, you potentially knew he has Burrow Strike on cooldown and can't use it, because if you used your camera right, you would have seen it, so he cannot get out of arena. So first of all, unless you're sure he has Burrow Strike, you have no pressure to use arena that early. If he has Burrow Strike and you knew it, you don't have pressure to use the arena unless he tried to Burrow Strike, because he has pretty low movement speed, right? Same as you. So it's not like he's just walking out of your effective range. But anyway, the problem now is, I mean, your dust is ready. What can you do to make sure you don't miss the spare?
Just
That's helpful, but there's another thing.
use second spell and then spell.
Yeah, your second spell gives a 50% movement speed slow, 40%. That means he can move half. So I think it's 100% chance to hit if you throw the spear, and then you still have like some time to press stop. If you see it's not gonna hit, you can still stop. Well, I think right now here there's zero reason to use the spear. You just use dust or not. You use the Guts Rebuke that pulls him one time against the arena. He's still slowed for a long time. I mean, arena has 5-second duration, so you have at least 2 seconds to get the full spare of mass damage. So I see zero reason for panic sparing there, because you have 100% hit chance if you God's Rebuke first, so that's my point about that. Yep. Alright, so like I said, first of all, maybe it's not the best idea to kinda go on a Vanguard Sand King, and second of all, if you executed it kinda bad, because I think you have 100% chance to hit the spare there, and then I would have say the gank would have probably succeeded. But it's still risky, he could have not wasted his stun, then the damage could have not been enough. I mean, Void Spirit could rotate in and kill you all after, because you're literally committing all spells and skills on a Sand King, and Rubik has a really big game, he's level 7 already. I can see a lot of ways how this can go bad and how it's kinda wasted effort. Makes sense, right?
Yeah. So I should have just went bot lane with Willow and tried to kill
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a super bad move. I mean, if you see the kill there and you think it can happen, maybe it's not that bad. And I mean, after the kill, your Slark could also keep farming the bot lane, or but yeah, obviously your Willow was also about to get 6-0, so you also had potential to kill the Tiny because, like I said, he cannot get out of arena. If he's scared of you, he kinda has to leave the lane, so he's giving up farm and giving you farm for free. And if he actually stays in arena and you are actually not fucking up, or you let Willow start with terrorize, he dies and he has 0 chance of getting out there. So yeah, because you can see and you can calculate 100% kill on Tiny, I would say the move is to go bot. But the biggest issue here, you cannot miss your your spares if you use God's Rebuke first. And second, you need to go into lobby and practice this. I mean, I'm not even a Mars player, but I have those mechanics. Where when you throw the spear, you are instantly ready to press your stop key. And if you see it's not hitting, like, let me open Gamepedia Mars. Just need to see how much. So your cast animation. So it has like 0.25 cast animation. So you have like 0.2 seconds where you can decide does it hit or does it not hit. So and then it's kinda, you can already see it's hitting or not hitting. So you have a lot of time to press that stop key. And you should kinda practice that. It's the same on Nyxstan. Um you just spam stop as long as you are sure you're hitting your spell. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not exactly sure if you understand what I'm saying. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, I need to show you in demo.
No, I understand. It's just that I switched to offlane and Mars. I am on Mars. I have very few games. Yeah, probably it's more practice in lobby. This thing.
So this is really important. I think you should between games when you're queuing or whatever practice that.
Mhm.
But the problem is not that you don't have the mechanics. The problem is you the mindset and visualization before you go into a fight or before you use your skills. A lot of players on low MMR, and especially in that era, it's like they go in and then they have no fucking idea what's happening and they are lost, and then you kind of panic press your spells. But on Mars you need to think about when do you need to use arena, when do you need to use spare, when do you need to use God's Rebuke, and do you have any pressure to like instantly use spare, instantly use your skills? I mean, if you understand that there's nothing getting lost, you can be really patient and only use them when it's good, or also in team fights. Do you need to press your arena instantly, or can you hold it? Because just the enemy team just knowing that your arena is ready and that you could use it at any point if they make a mistake or if they get out of position, if they overcommit, is already a lot of pressure. It's the same concept on Enigma. If they know you have Black Hole ready, they cannot use their skills or they cannot walk into you. But if you jump in and use a bad Black Hole and you maybe only get a bit out of it, then well, they use the Black Hole and then they don't care. So a lot of times, not using a skill can actually be advantageous. So you need to have those concepts in mind, and you need to think about the engagements and the team fights if you have time. And if you don't have time to do this in game, you can watch the replay and then think about it. But you need to understand what's the best way to use your skills, and you need to visualize that before you actually get into those situations. That's kind of what makes you better than a headless chicken on 5K. And I think on Mars you just need to understand you can use arena, you can chill, and then you have like 2 seconds, then you use like God's Rebuke, you push him into the area for extra damage, he's slowed, and then you have another like 2 seconds where you can wait and where you can use your spare. But obviously one problem is like you don't wanna wait too long, because if it's not spared into the arena, he's not gonna take the extra arena of blood damage. but still already placing the arena, and if they don't have escape to get out, it's like already a lockdown because they cannot walk out of it. So I think about how you wanna use Bear and God's Rebuke and just be patient. Don't instantly click them because you feel like, oh no, I don't know what to do, what's happening, I need to do this. Yeah.
Dire's top tower
So think about that, and that's important. Okay. Alright, so right now the game is a bit meh because you're Mars now, you're kinda underfarmed. You didn't hit your first few arenas, and like I said, before the game, if you go for like a non-greedy arena builds, you're kinda gambling to get the kills, and if you don't get 2 kills in a row or some stuff like that, your game is super slow and you're super behind, and you already need to hope for those guys are fucking dogs, and you already need to search for them making the mistakes instead of just playing a clean game. All right, next situation. Let me go back a bit. So you were all right. So there was that top engagement, and you're going base now, and then you decide you're going top again.
Dire's top tower
Yeah, at this point I was just, lost.
I mean, at this point, I think it's okay whatever you're doing because. I mean, sure. There's some space on the map. By the way, look, you also lost the tower to Tiny. By the way,
Yeah.
um, so sure, you can find some farm on the map, but when you are behind or when you don't have a lot, and I mean, Mars is always a hero that can kind of get comeback kills, and a lot of times it's better to kind of try to gamble for that kill if it has a decent chance. That then like AFK farming now, and I mean, even if you go like bot and you push out that wave, sure, it puts a bit of pressure on then to show on that tower. Yeah, you are kind of claiming that farm, and then you can farm here, but also you can right now you can die to any heroes of them. You can die to Void Spirit plus Kotlo, you can die to Void Spirit plus Rubik, you can die to Tiny plus Kotlo or something. So sure, you see right now,
tower.
you have Dust, you see Sand King top. You decide it's a good idea to TP because he's pretty deep. Alright, so if I was the Sand King, I think I can burst strike out of this arena. I'm not sure though. Like I think that's he's misplaying, right? He could have instantly stunned out. So now you did the rebuke stuff that I told you before. So this bear was like safe, but the problem on this engagement is if you arena him, you probably need to like instant throw or you give him reaction time to stun out. I mean, he's obviously not doing it. But I told you before about pressure to use skills and patience and whatever. So let's check again. Sand King movement speed, same as you. He has a stun that, I mean, it has some range, but not that much range. And if you arena, he can still stun out. Sadly, you don't have face boots. And if you had face boots, the game theory is super different there because you can always outrun him. So you can just hold the area however long you wait. But anyway, you're really close to him right now, and I think Slark can also land a pounce. What I'm saying right now, if you're coming from those two directions, so let's say you don't use arena right now, and he instantly uses the stun. All he can do is run here, and I mean Slark is gonna get his extra movement speed. Uh, what I'm saying right now, I don't think he's getting out even if you don't use the arena right now. And if you use the arena right now, there's a very high chance he's just gonna stun out of it and then, well, walk out. Or I mean, Slark has pounds, so it's not like he can instant TP. But you know what I'm getting at. I'm kind of saying maybe you can just follow him. You can walk up to him. You can use God's Rebuke and and spear or not spear, and use like the arena after he used the stun to catch him. I'm not exactly sure if there was any way for him to get out, but I don't think so. I mean, in the end, it worked out here, but that's also your consideration. Do you need to instantly click the arena? I think if I was thinking I 100% the moment I see arena, I had enough time to just stun out of it, and then, well, you guys either have to chase me for like 40 seconds, and I think he's aware of Slark doesn't have dust. You have one dust, so even if you dust him, I think he can kinda maybe wait until it's over, go invis again, TP out. I don't know. But I mean, it's you don't have a lot of do. It's nice to try for a kill, but I think at that point I'm not sure if I would have instantly arena'd him, because you had the option of just walking, following him, and use it after it's done. Or do you think he would have walked out of it instantly with stun, and then you wouldn't have been able to catch up?
No, I think what you're saying is good, but if I just stun him instantly. But usually at these games, I feel pressured not to use all of my skills immediately, because when you if I missed my arrow, then like it would have been looking very bad that I didn't use my arena instead of the beginning.
You mean the pressure from your teammates that they flame you?
Something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, if you think about how is the fight gonna go and what's the best way to use it, you can usually figure out, are you pressured or are you not pressured? If you're pressured, sure, click your keys. But if you don't have pressure, you can chill. Anyway, your bot now, you're pressuring the tower. I mean,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
your team is farming, you have to do something.
Dire's top tower is under Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I would be a bit concerned. Because, like I said before, 2 heroes potentially can kill you, but even if then, like, you're forcing 2 heroes to come, right? How I would have played this differently is...
Radiant's middle tower is
Alright, so right now you're pushing into tower. I don't think you are aware of, do they have TPs, do they not have TPs, but two people can TP and 4 can kill you. Right now you see 4 people on the map, so you know no one is TPing.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So until now it's fine. Slark is still fighting on top, I guess it's still fine. But at this point, I meant not Slark, but Willow. At this point, they're kinda in fog and you don't know what's happening, so they could TP. So, I mean, you don't just wanna walk out of that lane, but what you can do right now, instead of standing on the tower and hitting it, I mean, the creeps are solo killing it, and the further you get from the tower, the harder it is for them to connect on you. I mean, even though Void Spirit is dead, any 2 other heroes, and I don't think you tracked how much mana and HP they had, because I don't see you using your camera a lot, so it's probably not a very informed, smart judgment. Well, what I do right now, I would not hit the tower, I would walk here between the 2 waves. I would either insta-kill the wave, or I would take the wave, track it on this camp, farm the camp and the wave, and keep repeating. Because the further you are from the tower, the harder it is for them to catch up to you. And if you see them walk out of here, you can just walk out of the lane. So the tower would still take damage and slowly go down. It would go down a bit slower, but you would get some extra farm and you would have probably reduced your chance of dying there if they actually make those moves from like 90% or more into maybe you die 5% or 10% if they execute it smart. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I think hitting this tower is too risky, because you have a better option.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So my death is not worth the tower.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle
What is not?
My death, because when I was hitting this tower, I was already preparing to die. I was thinking that they would TP and kill me, but at least I would get a tower.
But the point is, you either get a tower if they don't react or they react. What happens if they react? If they TP one or two people here, you get information that someone came here and is there on the map, and you get the information. Hey, maybe you can walk on this mid tower, or you can walk into enemies and search for a fight now, or you can farm a different part of the map. And I mean, you walked on the wave there, you were soaring and both spells and killed it, and then you didn't know what to do. I mean, you could have just pulled it on the small camp here and get both of it. And you know, if they TP'd one or two here and there and they think the tower, like I said, your team gets information. You understand there's a guy here, there's a guy that doesn't have a TP. You understand maybe that guy is in here and is trapped. Team, come kill him. Or you understand that guy is trapped and can you join his team? We wanna pressure them somewhere. Or you know exactly what areas can you farm in. So whatever you're doing here by just forcing a rotation or forcing the tower to die, you're giving your team a lot. It's not like you need to suicide on the tower to kill the tower. It's like you can make moves here that increase your farm because you can take those and the wave at the same time. You can use your mana more efficiently instead just wasting both spells at the same time on the wave and now not having enough mana for arena and all. You can just pull it on this camp and just use like one God's Rebuke or one Spear to finish it farming because the stuff damages each other. So you see what I'm saying. You're doing something here, you're forcing a reaction, but you don't have to do this and you have better options.
Tower is under
Mhm.
attack.
And honestly, I mean, if you're hitting the tower like that for that long, and already one guy is TPing, and this guy is not even TPing in fog, like they must be set up being like if one guy TPs, there must be a second or a third guy, and they just kill you, and then they play the rest of the map in the time you're dead. But it's 5K. And that's probably why all the stuff is not happening.
Is under
But still, you need to see what could they do or what could they not do. I guess you wanna get better and you wanna reach high MMR. So maybe you get away with those plays here, but there will be a point where those plays will hurt you.
is under
Such a limited imagination you have.
Dire's middle tower.
And also you had to go back to base, right? Because you lost a lot of resources. So right now you're having 51 creeps. That's like 3 creeps per minute, I would say. As a good offlaner game, you want 5 plus. If you think about if you had a Ring of Health or Helm of Dominator, the times you had to go base would be reduced by a lot because even if you lose some resources, you don't have to go back. And if in the times you walked back to base and forced the whole game, if you use that time to farm like camps or creep or waves or whatever, you would have probably gotten the early stat item, all the gold back by now.
Is under attack. Dire's top
Just for the perspective, I'm not saying it was right or wrong buying it or not buying it. Well, what's important is that you understand in your mind why are you doing something, why are you building something, and I mean, you buy an item with an understanding of what you're gonna do with it, and if you can envision in your mind and your and how you see the game, if it makes sense, it's nice. You can't just buy a different item if you don't understand how to utilize it. That's why you need to think about it before. What are you gonna do? And if you build this item and play like that, how is it gonna help your team, and how is it hurting the enemy team? I mean, especially as offlaner, or what you wanna do is you wanna give your team a very easy time to play, and you wanna give the enemies a hard time to play the game. So before you build an item and before you decide on what are you gonna do with your resources, you need to like imagine it in your mind. How is the game gonna go? And if you were the enemies, would they be pissed off that you are doing that? And your team, are they happy that you are doing that? I mean, a lot of offlaners in 5K and 6K bracket, it feels like every time I play core there, I need to play carry and offlane at the same time, because my offlaners, they fucking AFK hit creeps. They are not forcing enemy rotations. They are not opening the map. They are not putting pressure and out pushing lanes, but they are like taking safe space that the other more priority cores would take. So this is the mindset how you need to think about the game. And from there on, you need to figure stuff out, and then you just try, does this work or does it not work? Alright, let's go back. How will this start? Well, I guess you see mid is getting pressured, so you kinda wanna defend the lane. Alright, if you look at the enemy, so there's a Void Spirit. Void Spirit has like 300, 600, 900. He has like, let's say he has like something like 1000 magic damage. Kotl, you would expect Kotl has at least one level in Solar Blind, and he's gonna hitting it on you, and he's gonna hit his wave as well. That's 500. So I have like 1500 magic damage. Your magic resistance is kinda zero. So they have 1500 HP removal right now. Void Spirit is gonna hit you a few times, so they have at least, without committing a lot, like at least your HP pool as damage. Well, that means you don't wanna walk into Void Spirit's Astra step range, right? Unless you feel like, oh, this is the perfect bait, Dazzle is coming, or even if they commit spells on me and I die, my Storm is gonna kill them all. I don't think you thought about that Storm is gonna kill them all. So what can you do right now? You don't want this tower to fall. But do you really have to walk up here? I mean, you can just use your spare from range to clear the wave and wait for the melee creeps to walk into your tower and use your spell from here instead of being here. It's harder for them to jump you when you sit like here than it is when you sit there and you don't have vision at that point.
Mhm.
So unless you're doing the perfect bait here, and also the perfect bait also as a consideration, there's also a fucking Sand King that is not on vision right now, that has stagger and ult. So even if you even if you bait your own team into this fight, they're all gonna die to Sand King after. And like I said, in my opinion, they don't have to commit a lot to kill you. They can nearly only kill you by using Kotl Nuke and Void Spirit Nuke without using all Astra steps and Rubik. They could, if they played really clean, all they do is like Void Spirit use they use spells from range. They don't even walk on you. They don't even give maybe Storm or Slark or all the people a good opportunity to revenge your death. So I think right now you're just walking in like a like a headless chicken to die without using anything. I mean, sure, they use the Crave. Maybe you get Arena out, but you didn't provide value, and you could have defended the tower without dying by just using your spells from range and not walking that deep. So I think right here you were super out of position, and I can't consider it a bait because I don't see how your team is killing all of them if you die by just tanking spells. I mean, let's say you play against a fucking team and you have more items and you're tanky, and to kill you, they have to use like Chronosphere and Black Hole, and then they solo killed you with Chronosphere and Black Hole, and they die to your whole team. So by dying solo, you could provide the team. While if some situation like that arises and you can make this move, I would say great. But I don't see any way to justify you doing that move right now. Alright, so we're already doing an hour. I would say let's watch one more landing stage from the second game, and then it's probably enough for today.
Yeah, we
Oh.
can even we'll do it next time. I will just keep everything what you said to my mind and get some more games and maybe come on the weekends to you.
Yeah, you see when we're doing the first time, there's just a lot of stuff to say, and but But the biggest takeoff here is think about what are you doing and why are you doing it. If you build a particular item, you need to think about in your mind before how how does that item make you play the game and what do you want to do with it, and in general what's your game plan on offline. Like I said, on Mars you can be that guy that's fucking unkillable, that's like constantly literally sitting on top of the enemy base, pushing one or two waves, putting pressure on the tower. If they defend tower, there's a chance you just kill them because with an item like armlet you just have such a high amount of damage. And the thing is, on low MMR games on 5K, you still have infinite space. No matter what you do, the enemies are not gonna punish you. They provide you an infinite amount of space. So playing more greedy than a high MMR player would doesn't hurt you a lot of time. So just for that reason, playing Mars more like a carry with fucking armlet, I would say there's initiative for that because they don't punish you and you can do whatever you want. And even if they jump on you and you are strong, at some point, when I play in that bracket at games like that, and I do my farming well, my pressuring well, and then I just play like super deep. Sometimes they jump with me with 3 people, and I kill 3 people and stuff like that. And even if I wouldn't, my team has all the space in the world to farm. I mean, a high chance they are fucking it up and they're not using it correctly, but well, you're making space for yourself and you're farming that. And in my opinion, you should view those games. You kind of want to be kind of around the same networks as your 2 other cores, and you want to play pretty greedy until you have teammates where it actually makes sense to play sacrificial offlane. And even then, on high MMR games, a lot of times you don't have to be the sacrificial lamb.
Yep.
And maybe you also, since I kinda told you a bit the point of like going the armlet item builds and stuff. I mean, um did you understand it like if before I told you, did you understand it like that that's your purpose if you play armlet?
Before you told me it was armlet, yeah, I thought the main point was that to get the helm that gives you good laning and a lot of damage to nuke the crews. But besides that, no, I didn't have any idea about armlet builds on
So
offlaners.
so maybe if you see it's like a good game where you have a lot of space to farm or your team is not too greedy, I mean, but even if you say even if you say you have a team with like an anti, let's say worst case scenario, you have a Medusa mid and an anti mage.
Hmm.
If you buy a dagger in that game, who's gonna deal the damage in your arena? No one. But in that game as well, if you have armlet, not you can't have 3 heroes farming your own jungle. That's what would happen. Um, but if you have armlet, like I said, you can also sit really deep. You can at least outpush one lane, and you can at least force 2 to 3 heroes to kinda run on you and gank on you. And while you do all that, I mean, they potentially have the rest of the map, the other side of the map, to free farm or to make plays. So even in a game where so it doesn't even, and sometimes it's not even greedy. Sometimes it's just you guys don't have the options to do shit. So you have to play like that, and you have to play deep just so you enable your team to have some space on the map. Yeah. And anyway, don't take the stuff I'm saying about Mars too serious. Like I said, think in your mind and make your own judgments. I don't have a lot of Mars games, but I think I can still make good judgments about it, especially since I watched a lot of pro games where they play Mars and try to understand what's his purpose and stuff. Yeah, so this is mostly it. Think about what you're doing, think about why which items, and before team fights and before you're taking engagement, think about what will happen. Use your camera more, look at other lanes, check how much resources do your teammates have. If your Storm has a lot of resources, try to make a play with him. If you play Mars Willow, you need to think about that Arena plus Willow stuff is a very, very strong combo. Try to communicate with Willow and plan moves together.
Yeah, okay.
Like you can think 2 minutes ahead of time. You can realize, Willow, this is coming up or whatever, or you're dead. And in that time, you can say like, hey, Willow, I'm TPing here. we use smoke into triangle, we kill anti-mage, or we outpush lane, then we use smoke, and then we try to run out Tiny or whatever. Like I said, Tiny really doesn't have an escape, and the problem usually about killing Tiny is you don't have enough damage. But with Willow and Mars and Storm, you guys have a lot of potential to actually kill him. So I think it's mostly about those things. I mean, at laning, maybe you can creep aggro a bit better, but your laning was really solid in my opinion. It was just a bit of a rough game, and the problem was after you got level 6, your choices were pretty poor. They can turn up lucky, but in general they were pretty poor, and then you could have executed your skill usage in the fights a lot better. And I think if you considered any of those things, that would have probably shifted the tide from having a hard game and losing to probably playing evenly or even having a super good chance at winning. Just like increasing those things just by a small bit would have probably given you the edge to win this game. I mean, maybe you won. This game is not over, but let's check. I think you guys lost. Yeah, you lost.
I lost.
Yeah, so this is my takeaway from the game, and I think it's probably enough to practice and think about for a while. I think you should probably try to use that stuff. Maybe I'm also when I do coaching, I'm talking really fast and I'm saying a lot of stuff. So maybe you even wanna check the VOD on YouTube again and go over it because it's really hard to digest while in the coaching. But I kinda wanna coach people and I wanna give them a lot of stuff they can work on. I don't wanna coach like every day 1 hour. It's usually enough if I give like 1 2 hours to people so they have enough stuff to do for multiple weeks, and then we can check if there's other stuff that needs working.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thanks a lot in that case, and I will play some games and come to you maybe. after a
Yeah,
couple of weeks.
and always feel free to ask me questions on Discord or whatever.
Mhm.
And if you have any feedback, I mean, this coaching was pretty passive for you because I was just saying a lot of stuff. But if you have any feedback in general to the coaching, I'm always happy to hear because I always strive to do stuff better. And if I fuck something up or don't do it well, I always like to understand it. And I'm gonna upload the VOD to YouTube. Like I said, you can rewatch it, you can recheck it. And if you have any more questions or any feedback, now's the time for it.
Um, no, I think the coaching was good. Just need to work on those things that he told me. And yeah, thank you, man.
But yeah, those mouse mechanics, they're really important. I even see people on 7K plus like missing the spears, and I think it's really easy to learn. You just have to get the muscle memory one time, and you're never gonna miss the spears again.
Just one question. Do you know this mechanic when you spear and then press ulti? Is it? I saw a couple of times some pro do it, but I tried in lobby and it's almost like it's impossible for me.
Let me try. I think it's important that you kind of put the arena pretty far. Um, I mean, I'm not sure if it worked in the past only. I mean, if you say it, I'm sure it works, but let me try. I usually don't do it because even I don't have enough games, and even if I do it, it's maybe 20% chance or something that it didn't work. So in general, a lot of times I figured it's not worth it to risk it. But let's see. Alright, so I haven't masked you. So you spear first and then arena.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay, so what's the so okay, I need to just calculate for a second. So the spare. Um I'm just checking Gamepedia and I wanna see how many units per second it moves. Doesn't really say anywhere the speed of the spear here. Just let me see. The spear travels at a speed of 1400. So your arena has a cast animation of 0.2. 0.2 of 1400 means the unit needs to be at least 300. If you instantly cast it both and there's no delay, the unit needs to be at least, your arena needs to be at least like that far away from your spear. Okay, so let's say I like spear instantly and arena. But the radius is 54, so I should be able to arena like here and spare. You see, it's already pretty hard. But so if I put the arena a bit further, you see, you have cast range like that. This is let's say half cast range of the arena. It's working. So this works pretty reliably, but you need to practice that in lobby like a lot of times until you can reliably use it in games. And it probably has to do how far away from you cast the arena. You can't just cast it on melee range.
That's the right of it.
Okay. I see.
But yeah, you see, I'm kind of getting it reliably every time I do it. But you need to get a feeling. What's the minimum cast range away from you? You have to cast the arena, and right now I'm just I couldn't do this in game because I'm constantly thinking, what is arena range? I don't know the cast range of arena. Like I don't play the hero that much, and I kind of casted too late there, so it was not a range problem. It was a problem of. So yeah, it's about. So you kind of need to cast it and instantly spam the arena, like super fast, and it needs to be at minimum. At minimum, you need to cast the arena some range away from you. So in general, I would say, I mean, it has 550 radius. Potentially, you can even cast it on melee range on you. You need to try that out. I don't know it. I don't know the mathematics. I don't know if there's any other delays or. But yeah, if you wanna be sure, you cast the arena a bit away from you, and then it works for sure. Maybe the arena has also a time until it gets armed. So maybe the arena is not instantly here when you cast it. Wait, what happens if you cancel? Because it's not instantly armed. I think it's not instantly armed. Here, it says Arena of Blood effect delay 0.3. So maybe it's 0.5 then, and 0. So the arena needs to be 700 units away, kinda. So your radius is 550. So you need to cast it at least 150 units away, and then you would have to do it perfectly. So I would say you need to literally cast the arena like close to the maximum range, else it won't work. So that's my opinion about that. I would have to test it further, but no point really. But you can do it.
Yep.
Any other question?
No, that's it. Thank you for your time.
Okay, sure, thanks. Like I said, if you have any questions and if you wanna schedule a session after you kinda used all the stuff I told you, just message me on Discord. And thanks everyone for watching the coaching. I'm gonna stop the recording here.